What's up, internet? Welcome to Game Theory. That's the wrong channel. I am going to be reviewing, what is it called? Things Are Different Now by Rain City Drive. Prior to the band Rain City Drive, all of these band members used to be in a band called Slaves, which was formed in Sacramento, California. I think I said that right. All of the band members formed Rain City Drive in Palm Coast, Florida. On the topic of Slaves being the prior band before Rain City Drive, Rain City Drive's debut studio album, which was To Better Days, was actually Slaves' final album, but it's not actually up as their final album on Spotify. Uh, and to fill in on vocals, they would get Matt. I cannot say any fucking names throughout all of these album reviews, can I? To fill in on vocals, they got Matt McAndrew. This album was produced mainly by Daniel Bronstein. I think I said Bronstein last video. I don't. Fuck, bro. Again, I'm not good with names, am I? Daniel Bronstein and Zach Touch. I don't know. Touch. We're gonna go with Touch. The only exceptions, I think it's just these three. I'm not entirely sure. The only exceptions for production is on Frozen, Never Bloom, and Sacrifice. Frozen has Zach Baker on there producing. Never Bloom has Kurt Martin and Joel Ferber producing on that one. And Sacrifice has Zach Baker producing on that one as well. This album touches on a handful of concepts around breakup because, who wouldn't want to cry after they lose their girlfriend? This album cover over here. Let's just talk about this really quickly. What the fuck is this? I love it. It's beautiful. But what the fuck is this? It just like it looks like the temperature would be cold. It looks like we're about to go to like fucking Alaska right now or some shit. The pyramid is obviously made of ice. This is ice. I don't know if you can't tell. I don't know. And it's got like a little water droplet on it. I don't know if it's just supposed to be like a sad boy frowny tears. Ooh, wah, wah. I don't fucking know, bro. This album cover is like, I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to be in terms of like music. Let me find my phone so I can actually look through the rest of these notes real quick. All right, anyway, songs on this album. I want to start off with Lose My Composure. I should probably stop holding both of the controllers in my one hand, should I? Lose My Composure is a bit of a weaker track, especially for an opening track for an album. It does have some nice vocals on it, for sure, absolutely, but it's got a couple meh kind of things, especially with its like opening line. It's just kind of like a basic ad kind of thing, like the fucking keep your friends close and your enemies closer, or whatever it is. It's just generic and kind of basic, and it really makes that first verse like really weak, especially for an opening track that's supposed to introduce you to the album. So that's already a bit of a letdown. It does have a bit of a nicer line right after that, and aside from that, there's not much that I can say about the track. I do like that little idea of the line claiming that he's got a third-degree burn on his shoulder due to the devil, as he says, kind of like the angle devil, kind of. Oh, the angle. Fuck off, bro. The angel on your shoulder, tells you the good things. The devil on your other shoulder tells you bad things. And it's like, oh, yeah. Aside from that, there's nothing else good in this song. Wish You the Best is a pretty nice track. I'm not going to lie. It's a strong track. It is one of the strong tracks that is not a single off of this album. Thank God. And it really goes in depth on like the aftermath of a breakup, because I listen to sad albums. I don't know. I'm starting to notice that actually because I just started editing the Hurtwave one, and first thing I heard was something about, oh, this is after a breakup, and it's like, oh shit. Essentially, the chorus is just wishing for somebody to like wishing for the ex or whatever. I don't know, to just like live well and like be careful, have a good life and everything. Even though this singer doesn't like the person anymore, but like they still care about them. Yada yada. I don't know. So they say I don't fucking know, bro. I don't even want to review this album. I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay, bro, stop lying to yourself. He does really oddly claim that he kind of misses any of the pain that he went through prior to the breakup, and he actually even says that he is still obsessed over a 4-letter word, which is more than likely the word love. If I had to take a guess, that's what I always thought of, anyways. Lastly, this guy, he doesn't want to forget this person, but he also doesn't want to forgive them either. It's kind of like a sort of level of resentment, sort of. The next track is Medicate Me, which is easily the most popular track off of this entire album. And if I had to take a guess, I would probably say it's because features Dayseeker and Hurtwave's Roy Rodriguez, as well as writing from him. I just read that straight off of my fucking phone. It goes in depth on a relationship that's more than likely a couple steps away from ending. The pre-chorus goes in depth on why this singer doesn't want this breakup. Especially with that line claiming that it would essentially actually just be suicidal to just let this person go or leave this person or whatever, because it's like this person is helpful to me or whatever, and they keep me going or whatever, and letting them go and getting rid of them is kind of like, I mean, I'm just killing myself at that point. Even the bridge goes into that idea of maybe this breakup is good or whatever, and I'll say, okay, I don't love you or whatever, or I don't want you to love me anymore or whatever, something like that, even though he knows himself that that's not true. Literally, the line is saying that he tells himself that he's over this person's love, but he has a hard time believing that whenever he keeps remembering this person. Never Bloom. This is one of the singles because of fucking course it is. Why wouldn't it be? The song kind of opens with Matt questioning things about life, especially wondering what people would think of his ex if he gets called reckless, especially assuming that he's picked up any of these reckless habits from his ex in question. So he's just thinking essentially like, if I'm bad and I got this from you, then what would they think about you being the one putting this on me and everything? I don't really. I mean, it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. I just got into this album because Dayseeker was on it, but The chorus goes into an explanation as to how Matt really wants to get his thoughts out, but he kind of chokes on them. He's not able to get his words out. Kind of like if you're ever just so so upset about something, and you're trying to confront somebody about this and tell them about it or whatever, and you're so upset that you just like don't even have like that energy to like speak, or even like at the very least sound out words properly like you normally would. So that's kind of what he does, or that's kind of what he's explaining there, I should say. Actually, the end of the chorus visits the idea of him growing as a person and becoming better and everything, and knowing that he's becoming better, as he claims that any step forward, any sort of steps forward, he claims to be a flower that will bloom. And in the chorus, he actually expresses that he's upset that this person in question, more than likely an ex, won't get to see him take successful steps like that. And lastly, the bridge really expresses that idea that even though he's hurt from this breakup, he is learning to move on, and he's learning how to grow as a person after this breakup and through this breakup, really. This last track is called Sacrifice. It's the closing track on the album. And it is really heavy on piano throughout the song. However, it does have a couple of their heavier riffs off of this album on the guitar. But it really does primarily focus, especially in that beginning, on the piano. As an instrumental anyways, I should say. The chorus is Matt asking if this person, maybe an ex, I'm not really sure what this song is about all that much, but the chorus is really just Matt asking if this person in question would be willing to sacrifice themselves. And coming out of the bridge, we're kind of left to assume maybe for stronger people that genuinely know how to grow as individuals. Again, just taking that off of the bridge. especially because one of the lines from the bridge, word for word, is actually "the weakest among us must die." After the second chorus, like I said, how it has heavier guitar riffs, the second chorus actually leads into that heavier part, more a post-hardcore kind of sound that they're kind of known for, sort of. And the chorus has absolutely beautiful vocals that are actually pretty powerful, and you can actually kind of comprehend the emotion that you're supposed to be feeling from his voice alone, which is some amazing skill from Matt, by the way. And the first chorus kind of features more of a whisper in the vocals rather than actual singing. It's definitely a lot more like tamer, and it's if I had to take a guess, I would say it's kind of whispering. Just, and this is what I always think about music, really. But if there's a chorus where the first one is kind of like a whisper, it's to kind of relax, but still get you ready for whatever that next chorus will be, and however heavy on the singing, or I guess in some metal cases screaming, but however heavy it may be outside of the basic one or the starter one where it's just whispering. Moving on to some of my favorite tracks off of this album, I have Disarm the Hourglass, Never Bloom, because genuinely that one's a banger, not even gonna lie. Wish You the Best, I really like that one, especially whenever the album first came out. Over Me, and Medicate Me. My least favorite songs off of this album, and unfortunately, unlike most other albums where I have a hard time, this one is actually kind of easy to pick the two tracks that I have here, which are Aware and Lose My Composure, because I just think those are weaker tracks. I don't hate them, it's just I think they're weaker. Moving on to the flaws that I have of this album before I give my review. This album feels like a generic rock album. It doesn't feel like much special. It doesn't feel like a Significant Other by Limp Bizkit. It doesn't feel like a Slipknot self-titled. Or if we're actually going off of rock, it doesn't feel like a Nevermind by Nirvana, or I don't know, like Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. It just feels kind of like a generic pop rock album. And I'm not talking like Imagine Dragons generic pop rock, but like I'm talking like maybe what you would expect out of like just hearing like bands hit songs, especially something like My Own Worst Enemy by Lit, or Bound to the Floor by Local H. I also think that this album genuinely just has a weak opening track, as I mentioned whenever I was covering Lose My Composure, and some of the closing tracks also felt a little weak, Nowhere. But aside from that, I think the rest of the album was decent. But for the most part, I just think the only thing that really carried this album were any of the singles, and then also Disarm the Hourglass and Wish You the Best, which is why I only gave this album a 5.7. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments. If you like this album, let me know. If you didn't like this album, again, just let me know. If you haven't listened to this album, go ahead, give it a listen. And as always, I love you all, and have a good day.